What if I told you that the life of your dreams already exists? That everything you desire, prosperity, freedom, love, fulfillment, is not waiting in some distant future, but is already available right now, just waiting for you to take the step to access it. Maybe you've tried everything. Visualizations, affirmations, manifestation techniques that seem to work for a while, but soon the results fade away. The truth is, you don't need to create anything from scratch, because the reality you want is already prepared, waiting for your decision to live it. In this video, I will show you how to shift your frequency, how to cross the bridge between the limited life you see today and the abundant reality that already exists for you. But before we begin, write this phrase in the comments: I choose my new reality. And by doing this, you activate that intention within yourself and send the universe the first confirmation that you are ready for the next level. To understand why this technique is so powerful, we need to turn to one of the greatest researchers of consciousness, Jacobo Grinberg, a Mexican scientist. He dedicated his life to studying how the mind works and discovered something revolutionary. Reality is not fixed, but shaped by each individual's perceptual field. In his neural field theory, Grinberg demonstrated that everything we perceive is, in fact, a projection of our consciousness. This means the external world, including your financial situation, your relationships, and your opportunities, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. This vision aligns with concepts in quantum physics, such as the many worlds interpretation, which suggests that all possible realities already exist simultaneously. You don't create your life from scratch. You tune your consciousness to experience a specific version of it. Other scholars, like Neville Goddard, also claim that the mind can reorganize reality based on the images and beliefs it sustains. So, when we talk about reality shifting, we are not dealing with superstition, but with knowledge that unites science, spirituality, and practice. Grinberg reminds us that by changing the programming of the mind, we instantly access new possibilities. Most people grow up believing that life is a straight line, unchangeable, and limited by the circumstances they were born into. From an early age, we are taught to see reality as something solid and definitive. You are born into a condition, you receive certain resources, you face specific opportunities, and from there you must accept whatever comes. This way of thinking creates an invisible prison, where we believe there is only one possible version of life. This is what we call fixed reality. Jacobo Grinberg dedicated his life to dismantling this mistake. In his research on consciousness, he discovered that what we call objective reality is actually a projection of the mind. Every human being carries a perceptual structure that filters, organizes, and shapes their experience of the world. In other words, the reality you see is not a faithful reflection of what exists out there, but the result of how your consciousness interprets and decodes the field of information. When we believe there is only one reality, we fall into the trap of living only from current circumstances. It's like being stuck on one radio station, always hearing the same song, without realizing you only need to turn the dial to access other frequencies. But because we are conditioned by limiting beliefs, negative emotions, and repetitive environments, we remain tuned to the same channel. Meanwhile, other versions of life, where abundance, love, and purpose already exist, remain inaccessible to our perception. The illusion of fixed reality is reinforced by the social system. From school onward, we learn that life follows a predetermined script: study, work hard, achieve stability, retire. This narrative makes it seem like success and fulfillment are rare achievements, reserved only for a few. The result is that millions of people spend their whole lives repeating routines, believing they have no choice, when in fact they could have changed frequency at any moment. Quantum physics offers a fascinating explanation for this possibility: the many worlds interpretation. According to it, All possible versions of reality already exist simultaneously. There is a universe where you are financially prosperous, another where you are in your ideal relationship, another where you live your calling with passion. These versions do not need to be created. They are already real. What determines which one you experience is the frequency of your consciousness. Realizing that reality is not fixed is the first step to liberation. It is when you understand that you are not condemned to repeat the patterns of your past, but can consciously choose to change frequency. This understanding breaks the invisible chains of social programming and opens the way to a new vision. You are not a prisoner of circumstances. You are the creator of your experience. The truth is simple but powerful. Reality is malleable. And the more you accept this idea, the easier it becomes to see that your current life is not a final destination, but just one of many possibilities. If reality is not fixed, then why do most people remain stuck in the same cycles of difficulties, limitations, and frustrations? The answer lies in something we can call the anchors of reality, invisible forces that keep you connected to your current version of life, even when you want to change. These anchors are 5: attention, beliefs, emotions, environment, and habits. The first anchor is attention. Wherever your focus is, there your reality will be. If your mind spends its time dwelling on problems, debts, failures, or fears, your consciousness remains trapped in a world where those elements keep repeating. It's like holding a magnifying glass over one single page of an infinite book. Even though the whole book exists, you only see that page. The second anchor is beliefs. Often inherited from family, society, or painful experiences, beliefs function as filters that define what is possible or impossible. If you believe money is hard to earn or happy relationships don't exist, your mind will ignore any evidence to the contrary, keeping you locked in the limited reality of those convictions. The third anchor is emotions. Your constant emotional state acts like a vibrational magnet. People who live immersed in anxiety, anger, or sadness end up tuning into versions of reality that justify and reinforce those emotions. On the other hand, those who cultivate states of trust, gratitude, and joy connect with higher scenarios because emotion creates a magnetic field in harmony with the experience lived. The fourth anchor is environment. Your physical space, the people you live with, and even the content you consume all act as constant reminders of the life you already know. If your surroundings are filled with negativity, stagnation, and limitation, it becomes much harder to access a new frequency because everything you see confirms the old reality. The fifth and final anchor is habits and routines. Every action you repeat daily is like a brick added to sustain the same construction. From the way you wake up to how you react to challenges, everything reinforces your current reality. If you want a different life, but keep acting in the same ways every day, you inevitably remain in the same place. These 5 anchors form a kind of invisible chain that keeps people tied to the familiar, even when they dream of something greater. The good news is that once you become aware of them, you can begin to release them one by one, creating space to connect with new possibilities. After all, the life you want already exists. What stops you from accessing it are only the points of fixation in your mind and behavior. Jacobo Grinberg often said that consciousness is like a transmitter and receiver, tuning into different ranges of reality, just like a radio captures specific stations. This idea resonates with quantum physics, which shows us that multiple possibilities coexist at the same time. What determines which one you experience is the frequency of your consciousness. But what does this mean in practice? It means that your thoughts and emotions are not neutral. They emit a vibration that organizes how reality shows up. When you repeatedly think that life is hard, that things never work out, or that money is scarce, your mind begins to align itself with a reality compatible with those ideas. Likewise, when you cultivate thoughts of trust, gratitude, and openness, you connect with versions of life where abundance and harmony are natural. Emotions amplify this process. Imagine two people facing the same opportunity. One feels fear, doubt, and insecurity. The other feels confidence, excitement, and courage. The first will probably let the chance slip by without even noticing. The second sees possibilities, acts with clarity, and transforms the opportunity into results. The difference is not in the circumstances, but in the emotional frequency of each one. This principle is also confirmed by the reticular activating system, RAS, a neural network that filters information reaching the brain. If you believe life is full of obstacles, your RAS will highlight only the signs that confirm this view, ignoring the rest. On the other hand, if your mind is trained to perceive abundance, the same mechanism begins to highlight opportunities, connections, and resources that previously went unnoticed. Here lies the power of consciousness frequency. It's not about hard effort to create something from nothing, but about aligning yourself with the already existing reality you wish to experience. It's like changing stations. If you want to listen to classical music, there's no point staying on a rock frequency. You just turn the dial until you find the right station. This understanding destroys the myth of constant struggle. Life doesn't need to be a battle to conquer something. The real secret lies in adjusting your inner state, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, so they vibrate in harmony with the desired reality. When that happens, external circumstances naturally begin to reorganize. That's why changing the frequency of consciousness is like turning on a light in a dark room. The space was already there, but now you can finally see it. Abundance, love, and fulfillment already exist. Your task is not to create them, but to allow yourself to tune into them. Once you understand that reality is not fixed and that your consciousness functions like an antenna capable of tuning into different versions of life, an essential question arises. How do you consciously choose the reality you want to access? The answer lies in creating what we can call the map of desired reality. Most people hold only a vague idea of what they want. I want to be happy. I want to make more money. I want to find love. But the more undefined your goal is, the harder it is for your mind to align with it. It's like trying to find an address without knowing the street name or house number. You might walk, but you won't reach the destination. The map works as absolute clarity of the scenario you want to live. To build it, the first step is to write your new reality as if it were already true. Don't say, I want a better job, but in my reality, I have a job that inspires and rewards me fairly. And don't write, I hope to earn 10,000 a month, but in my reality, it is natural to receive 10,000 a month or more. This subtle change of language transforms desire into identity. The second step is to add detail. The richer the description, the easier it is for your subconscious to accept this reality as legitimate. What is your house like? What's your morning routine? Who is by your side? What clothes do you wear? How do you feel when you look at your bank account balance? Each detail is like a coordinate guiding your mind toward that new frequency. The third step is to activate the corresponding feeling. It is not enough to write beautiful sentences. You must feel the emotion of already living that reality. If your map describes abundance, allow yourself to feel the lightness and security of knowing you always have resources. If you wrote about love, feel the tenderness and companionship of a true relationship. Emotion is the fuel that turns words into vibration. Jacobo Grinberg said the mind creates realities from perceptual structures. The map is exactly that, a structure deliberately designed to replace the old pattern. By revisiting it daily, you train your consciousness to abandon the limited version of life and align with the version you want to experience. Think of the map as a quantum GPS. It doesn't create the road, it simply shows the route. The destination already exists somewhere within the infinite possibilities. The role of the map is to show your mind where to direct attention, beliefs, emotions, and actions. When you have absolute clarity about your desired reality, there is no room for doubt or distraction. Your mind, body, and energy field begin to align coherently. And it is precisely in this state of coherence that changes begin to manifest in the physical plane. Now that you have clarity about your desired reality, a crucial point arises. How do you cross the space between what you live today and what you want to live tomorrow? This is where the reality bridge practice comes in. This technique works as a symbolic and powerful ritual that teaches your mind to consciously move from one frequency to another. The idea is simple but profound. Imagine yourself in your current life scenario with all the elements of the present, your worries, your limitations, your achievements, and even your pains. Observe this environment sincerely, recognizing it as the radio station you are tuned into right now. Then visualize a bridge in front of you. This bridge connects the current you to the fulfilled you, the limited state to the expansive state. On the other side, you clearly see the reality you wrote in your map. The house, the job, the relationships, the financial abundance, the inner peace. You feel it already exists, that it is alive and available, just waiting for you. Then with each step you take across the bridge, imagine yourself leaving behind the anchors that held you, the belief that it's not possible, the emotion of fear, the habit of procrastination. With each step, your energy expands and your frequency rises. This exercise is not just creative visualization, it works directly on the subconscious because the brain does not distinguish between reality and imagination when the experience is lived with sensory and emotional intensity. That's why during the crossing, involve all your senses. Feel the different air on the other side of the bridge. See the brighter colors. Hear the sounds that reflect the life you chose. Jacobo Grinberg said that consciousness shapes reality through its interaction with the neural field. The bridge practice serves precisely to change that interaction. By taking on the identity of the fulfilled self, you reorganize the perceptual structure that sustains your life, forcing external reality to adjust to the new pattern. An important detail is the return. At the end of the crossing, imagine yourself walking back across the bridge, but bringing the new reality with you. This means you don't abandon your current life, you integrate it with the elevated version of yourself. This way, you begin to see your present circumstances from a new point of view, triggering practical changes, different decisions, and unexpected opportunities. When practiced consistently, the reality bridge transforms the perception of those who use it. You stop feeling like someone trying to manifest and start recognizing yourself as someone already living the desired reality, even while external evidence is still aligning. This practice is a daily reminder that the path is not to create something from nothing, but to cross into what already exists. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to change their lives is thinking it's enough to do a technique once and everything will transform instantly. While quick changes can happen, the true secret of transformation lies in daily reinforcement and trust in the process. This is where you consolidate the new reality, allowing it to become increasingly solid and natural. The human mind works through repetition. That's how we learn to speak, to walk, to drive. In the same way, it is through repetition that beliefs are installed and behavioral patterns are reinforced. When you repeat daily reality exercises, like reviewing your map, crossing the bridge, feeling the corresponding emotion, you are training your brain to accept this version of life as the new norm. This is the principle of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to create and strengthen new neural connections through constant practice. At first, the contrast between your current and desired reality may cause doubt. It is natural to wonder, is this really working? It is exactly at this moment that trust becomes essential. Jacobo Grinberg said, perception creates reality. and perception is shaped by what you believe is true. If you believe change is slow, difficult, or unlikely, you reinforce that experience. But if you decide to trust the process, even without immediate results, you're already vibrating at a frequency of certainty, and reality inevitably responds to that. A practical way to cultivate this trust is to celebrate the small signs. Often, the mind only expects big events, like a new job or an unexpected sum of money. But change begins in the details: a coincidence, an inspiring conversation, an unexpected invitation, a greater sense of lightness. Recognizing these signs and being grateful for them sends your subconscious the message that reality is indeed transforming. Another important point is time. Every reality requires a period of reorganization. People, circumstances, and opportunities need to align for the desired version to manifest physically. This time is not a delay, but part of the process. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig it up the next day to see if the tree has grown. You trust that by watering and caring, the result will come at the right moment. Therefore, daily reinforcement and trust are not optional details. They are the foundation of change. They keep your mind focused, your energy high, and your consciousness firm in the new frequency. The more you practice and trust, the more natural it becomes to live as if you were already in your desired reality. And with time, the world around you will have no choice but to reorganize itself to reflect it. Now that you understand how reality is not fixed, how to identify and release the anchors that hold you, how to create the map of your desired life, how to cross the bridge, and how to reinforce this new identity daily, you have arrived at the most important moment: action. All of this knowledge only gains power when you apply, repeat, and trust it. From today, choose one simple practice. Review your map, cross the bridge, or dedicate a few minutes to sensory immersion. Make it a daily ritual, not as an obligation, but as a gift to yourself. Notice the signs, celebrate each small piece of evidence of change, and stay firm even when results are not yet visible. Remember, your new reality already exists, and every conscious choice brings you closer to it. And I want to give you a special invitation. Write this phrase in the comments: I trust the process of my new reality. This declaration is not just engagement. It is a way to activate within yourself the vibration of trust, the state that opens doors to incredible transformations. If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with someone who also needs to learn how to access their true life. Together, we can create a community of higher consciousness and abundance.